People of God, I'd just like to talk to you about, Jesus' prayer in the Garden of Gethsemane. How in the Garden of Gethsemane, when his apostles fell asleep, normally we may end a prayer with not my will, but thy will be done. But we know the apostles fell asleep and Jesus was at the beginning of the prayer. And this is what he said. He said, Lord, not my will, but thy will be done. First, he gave his request to God. Let this cup pass from me, but Father, not my will, but thy will be done. And many times we find ourselves in the same position as Jesus find himself in. I know sometimes we tend to think, and I will say it again in my teaching, that we tend to think that Jesus' will was always 100% in alignment with God's will. But this particular scripture showed that when Jesus was facing the cross, his will and his desire was not in alignment to God's will. However, when he prayed, he stated what he wanted. He asked the Father for what he wanted, but then he said, not my will, but thine will be done. And he said this in the beginning of his prayer. What am I saying to you, people of God? I am saying that when we approach God's throne with all our desires, all our wants, all our will, the first thing when we do that, we need to say, Heavenly Father, put aside what we want and let your will be done. In other words, we need to seek not that what we want to be done, not our will, but we need to subdue our will and submit what we want, draw back and give God and let God know we are willing, Lord, to back aside with what we want, what we will, and say, Lord, let your will be done. This is true in obedience. God was trying to teach Jesus a type of obedience. The Bible said actually that he learned obedience through the things he suffered. Many times, as long as God is you doing what you are happy doing, what you are comfortable doing, there's no need for disobedience to take place or your will not to line up to God's will. It's normally when God asks you to do something that you are not happy with, you are not comfortable with, not what you want, that you find that your will may actually be in opposition to God's will. That's when we as a child of God need to do what Jesus said. We need to yield, not just yield our will to God's will. We need to actually give up what we want and say, Lord, let your will be done. That's what Jesus did. Jesus literally said, you know what, I don't want to go to the cross, but Father, I'm going to give that up and I will do what you want me to do so your will can be done. That's what I'm saying to you, people of God. We need to sometimes just do what God tells us to do, whether we want to, whether we like it, whether it feels good, whether it's what we will, but just because God is saying to us to do it, we are willing to say, Lord, not my will, but thine will be done. God bless you this day. And that is found in Matthew chapter 26 at the beginning when Jesus is in the Garden of Gethsemane praying before he is arrested and taken to the cross. God bless you this day.